Richard was in the hospital for 3 months, and I was staying up in Salt Lake with him, and Dad was working at home. And I think it was like 2 days after he got out, we found out that they had turned us into collections already. And it was like he just gotten out of the hospital, and we were already turned into collections. The whole amount came up to about 1.5 million for his stay, which was 3 surgeries and and he had to be in intensive care, and he had to have a one-on-one nurse. And so for a one-on-one nurse, it's $2,000 a night, not including medications and anything they use. So it's pretty expensive. I think, if I remember right, we just laughed because we had a pile of bills about yay big from just the 3 month stay, and it was like, what? So our insurance paid all but about 120,000 of that. All but. So yeah, we'll be paying on that. He'll be paying his way through college because we don't have any savings. It all goes to doctors because they won't see you if you don't pay. And if you don't have the money to pay, then, there is no such thing as savings with special needs kids and these kind of doctor's bills, because you have to pay them. Sometimes you have to go without whatever. It's a choice. Get used to not having a lot of new stuff. We've, I think, lost 2 houses over the last 6 years because of this, because we had to choose whether or not to take them to the doctors or make the house payment. We're one of those fun families that doesn't actually get government assistance because we do not qualify for it. But we don't make enough to pay for the bills either. So it's pretty frustrating to fall in there. We are getting some hospital financial aid now, but that doesn't go back and cover past stuff. It's impossible to keep up on the medical bills. I mean, when you have kids that are seeing a doctor at least 3-4 times a month for specialists, and, we normally have at least a surgery or 2 every year. And that's not even talking about mom and dad. That's just those 2. That's it. Hearing aids run $60 to get the molds done. They run $1,500 for each side for the actual hearing aid. And they have to replaced every 3 years, and the insurance will pay $300. Yay, that's helpful. Plus all the batteries and the medications. They're really expensive too. About $300 a month. A lot of times we have to stoop to using old EpiPens. They're still good, but they are expired. But now with the kids going into school, we can't do that because they won't let us use them. And the EpiPens are now up to $1,200 a piece. So good luck. So it's hard. You're lucky if you can afford a house and afford this or that. And with more than one special needs, or even with one special needs, that means that it's very hard for 2 parents to work. So it puts a lot of strain on the family. The monetary part is really hard. Well, like Medicaid or Social Security, Social Security is a joke. To get into Social Security, we got it for a little bit with V, but then he got a raise of $50 a month, and they wanted, I don't know how much money back because they decided they overpaid us. And I hate Social Security. It's confusing, it's hard to deal with, and it's hard to get. And they will turn you down for anything. They can't turn down V because she's deaf. but they have turned down Richard numerous times. And Richard is the one who costs the most money. So a little frustrating there.
Are there any insurance like coverages where it's just 100% you pay XYZ, it'll cover everything and anything that...
Well, that's all fun and games. There is sort of. It's a loophole. So yes, up to a certain amount. Anything over $100,000 in our case, you end up paying 10% off. So you have to pay your first $5,000, $10,000, whatever, and then they'll cover 100% up until $100,000, and then after that you owe 10%, which is still way better than the 1.5 million. Don't get me wrong, but it's still absolutely impossible to keep up on doctor's bills like that unless you're rich, and I'm not rich, so.
Have you come across any clinic or doctor resource that will treat you even if you can't pay them? Like a non-profit for
Not
certain...
that
Like
can...
I've heard that there might be some for certain conditions, like special conditions, but I know... Or like I've heard that like primary children's will some... that they're not quite as intense as other hospitals, maybe at like...
I have not seen that from Primary Children's. But when we went to the Mayo Clinic did actually cover our whole bill, which for a week's doctor's visit, it was $70,000 each child.